and welcome to another Chelsea chat. And last night, I'm sad to say that in Orlando, America, on a pre-season tour, it was Arsenal 4, Chelsea nil. Now, I am all for support and I'm all for getting players through bad times, but sometimes you can't defend the indefensible. And last night, I think the only word that I could really use to describe it was shocking. Was shocking. And I think there's a few reasons behind it. I think Tuchel touched on one of the reasons in his post-match press conference when he said that we've got a lot of players that don't want to be there. So what I'd like to do is get Tuchel in a room sat next to me, which I can't obviously do, and say, Thomas, if we've got players playing who obviously don't want to be there, why did we send people like Billy Gilmour off to the development squad, and why did we keep players like Ziyech? And last night it looked like Werner didn't want to be there. He is so frustrating to me at the moment that why not send them to play the development squad? They'll either grow a pair and start putting a shift in for the club that pays their wages, or they'll put a transfer request in to go to a club that they presumably want to play for. Alonso last night might as well not have been there, although Emerson wasn't great in the first half. It was just carnage. There was young players trying too hard, like Gallagher. Great potential, but so much to learn. I think last night the only thing he didn't kick was the ball. And Chalobah, another one. He's a young man learning his trade, and a couple of times last night, well caught out. One stupid pass that put him in for a goal. Just a lack of concentration. It'll get better. He can work on it. Like I said in another one of the videos, his stats are some of the best in Europe. So he's obviously got the potential. But we need to cut that sort of stuff out. That last goal, was it Saka? Was it the last goal? I don't know. Anyway, Saka scored. It was a shot, a decent save by Mendy. But again, I think if you're in goal and you can see that there's going to be a guy running in, you've got to hold that ball. So Mendy's distribution last night wasn't great, to be fair. It was just a catalogue of horrors. Yeah, we had young guys trying too hard. We had senior guys who didn't look bothered, and we had people like Mason Mount trying their heart out but just having a bad game. And I think it was like a perfect storm. I mean, I can't see what someone like Koundé would have done last night other than lose his rag. It's all right having a defender that's good at playing the ball out of defence if you've got someone making themselves available. Last night there was just nothing. It was just nothing, and it had to be against that lot. But all I'll say is, we've got a couple of players. We've got Kante and Ruben Loftus-Cheek who couldn't travel because of their vaccine status. And, Kante would have made a big difference last night. A big, big difference. I don't buy all this that we should sell Kante. I still think he's top class. I think Billy Gilmour would have made a difference there last night. I think the coach has made a right rick with that one, to be honest. But that's just my opinion. What do I know? I don't get paid the big bucks. So last night we started with Mendy in goal on a back four of James, Chalobah, Silva and Emerson. In the middle we had Gallagher and Jorginho. And in front of them we had Mount, Sterling and Werner, allegedly, and Havertz up front. And I'm not going to go too deeply into it. Giving the ball away, people not gambling on balls going across the box. Mason Mount hit a post. Don't think it'd have been a different game if it had gone in. We were so lacklustre. It was I don't know. It looked like they'd just been on a jolly, and that's got to be down to the manager. The manager's got to get them worked up. I'm a big fan of Thomas Tuchel, as you all know, but he's got to take some of the blame for that last night because they just didn't seem motivated. A lot of them. There were two, Gallagher and Mount, who were running everywhere like blue arse flies, and Gallagher was very often just kicking the player, not the ball. Mount was finding himself with a ball and no one running into the sort of spaces he would want to be playing them into. And some of Mason's final balls last night weren't that great. It was just a shit show, really. That's the only way I can really describe it. The second half, we went to a back three and we looked a bit better. Mendy stayed in goal. Callum Hudson-Odoi replaced James. Sarr replaced Chalobah. Koulibaly, the one good point of the night, he looked really, really good and assured. He replaced Silva, probably the only bloke that could have done. And Alonso replaced Emerson. You wouldn't have known the difference. Kovacic replaced Gallagher. That made a bit of a difference. Gallagher is a great young player, but that calm head with Kovacic, and he gave him more things to think about. Ampadu replaced Jorginho. Ampadu has not got it, in my opinion, as a midfielder in the Premiership. I'm sorry. I don't know. I've got my doubts about centre half. He doesn't seem assertive enough to me, but I know some of you rate him, and who's to say I'm right and you're wrong. Ziyech took over from Mount. That just meant that we had less bad balls going in. Batshuayi took over from Havertz. Batshuayi, I don't know if he can't be asked being there, but he's like having Lukaku there. He doesn't run. He doesn't. If you watch your Kane and you go back in time and watch your Linekers and even your Osgoods, your Drogbas, they gamble on ball going into space. Havertz didn't in the first half, and Batshuayi certainly didn't when he came on. Missed a header that I thought he should have get in front of the defender, didn't. It was just Sterling. I think he'd struggled. He struggled last night. He was well marked, and there was no movement around him to allow him to do anything about it really. So he struggled. Aspie come on for him, and obviously he went into a back three along with Sarr and Koulibaly, and Pulisic came on for Werner, and that was like substituting Tweedledee for Tweedledum, if I'm brutally honest. So that's all I'm going to say. I had a brief look at social media. I'm not going to go too deeply into it. I can't be bothered putting pictures of cabbages up. I don't think they're worth it. We had the lot this morning. Tuchel out. Gallagher out. I don't think there's a player that I didn't. Oh, Werner and Mount out. I don't think there's a player that some cabbage out there didn't want to get rid of. And to be fair, I haven't got much of an argument this morning because the whole team were piss poor. Score them, shall I? Well, all right then. So I'll score them. Mendy, I'll give Mendy a 6. Couple of really good saves. Thought he should have held the shot for the Saka goal. Maybe I'm being a bit unfair. His distribution wasn't great last night, and he gets a 6. James gets a 5. I'm going to score them in their positions. James gets a 5, and Odoi gets a 4.5. Chalobah gets a 5. He was at fault of one of the goals and got caught out of position a couple of times. Sarr gets a 5. He was Malang Sarr. Silva gets a 6. 6.5. Steady head. Not responsible for any of the goals, but he gets a 6 because he there's one of the goal there that I thought he should have been quicker on the player for. Very unlike him. Didn't really read the game that well. Koulibaly gets a 7.5. Looked the quality act that he is when he came on. One quality act replacing another. Alonso gets a Emerson gets a 4.5. Alonso gets a 4. Gallagher gets a 5. Kovacic gets a 6. Jorginho gets a 5. Ampadu gets a 5. Jorginho last night, the amount of poor passes that bloke gave, it was absolutely shocking. No, actually, Jorginho gets a 4. Ampadu gets a 5. He just not a quality midfielder, simple as that. Not a Chelsea quality midfielder, but probably be all right at West Ham or something like that. Mount gets a 6. His effort was there, and you couldn't say that about many of them. Ziyech gets a 5. Havertz gets a 5. Batshuayi gets a 5. Sterling gets a 5.5. He was trying, he just didn't have any help around him. Ashby, when he came on, didn't look like the Ashby of old. He gets a 5. Bernie gets a 4 from me. He just... I don't think his mind's in the right place. I really, really don't. At least when he's rubbish in front of goal, he normally creates stuff. Last night, there didn't seem to be a lot of thought behind it at all. Certainly not a lot of effort. And Pulisic gets a 4.5 because he was pretty damn awful when he came on. Yes, we had chances to score. Alonso should have scored, but he actually bottled out of it when the ball got put across goal. Havertz should maybe... We could have scored 3-4 goals, put it that way. But the way we were playing last night, no confidence, no effort, couldn't be asked. Scoring 2, Chewy gets a 3 from me last night. You know, I absolutely think the bloke is top notch, but last night he's got it severely wrong. They didn't go out there motivated. If it is because some players want to be away, what are they doing with a squad? What are they doing with a squad when you got your Gilmore's not with them? Gilmore and Brozier out there last night would have tried their heart out. That's all you can ask for, really. And I think Gilmore would have made a blooming big difference in that midfield. He certainly would have wasted less passes than Jorginho did. So, I don't know. A lot of it's got to go down to the manager, and he's going to have to get them up. I'm not going to get all doom and gloom about one game against Arsenal when pre-season in Orlando. That is a fact. When you've made 10 changes at half-time. But there are worrying signs there. If a player doesn't go onto that pitch and give 110%, 100%, that really should be the least that you as a fan expect, shouldn't it? So yeah, I'm not going to argue too much with the Cabbages today because whilst their requests are probably weird and wonderful, I can see why they'd be pretty peeved. Doesn't make them sensible, doesn't give them common sense, but it gives them an excuse to an extent. Okay, thanks for watching. If you haven't had a go at the quiz yet, there's a quiz online for you, those that watch these videos, and just a little prize that is quite nice actually. So give it a go, and it's the Chelsea quiz, and I'm going to try and do them monthly. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts on last night's game. And just let me know your thoughts on Chelsea in general. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please throw a like. See you after Udinese. Up the Chelsea.